Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into something that is truly at the heart of building real wealth. We're talking about how to get to that amazing point where your money is actually doing the heavy lifting for you.
So let's just start with a huge question. What if you could actually reach a point where your money earns more than your own effort? A point where your investments, just sitting there, are generating more income than you can physically save from your job each year. It honestly sounds like a fantasy, right? But it is a mathematical reality for anyone who understands one key principle. And the answer, the secret sauce, is a concept that's been called a financial superpower: compound interest. It's actually a pretty simple idea when you break it down. You earn interest on your savings, and then that interest starts earning its own interest. It creates this incredible feedback loop where your growth just starts to accelerate all on its own over time.
And here's the thing, the most critical ingredient for the superpower, it isn't a huge salary. It's not some stock-picking genius. It's time. That's it. The more time your money has to work, the more unbelievably powerful that compounding effect becomes. Okay, let's really dive into what this looks like. This is where we see just how incredibly powerful starting early can be. The best way to think about it is like you're rolling a small snowball down a very, very long hill. At first, it's small, it's slow, it feels like you're not making much progress. But the longer it rolls, the bigger and faster it gets, picking up more snow along the way. Now check this out. This is where it gets really interesting. Look at the dramatic difference a single decade makes. Someone who starts saving just 100 Swiss francs a month at age 20 ends up with almost double the savings of someone who starts at 30. And they're saving the exact same amount every month. That huge gap, that's not from saving more money. It's purely the result of giving their money 10 extra years to roll down that hill. And that's a feeling that investors who've experienced it firsthand talk about all the time. There's this moment where you can almost physically feel the momentum shift, where the growth just starts to take off on its own. It becomes this really powerful self-sustaining force. So when does that little snowball turn into a full-blown avalanche? Well, financial planners and seasoned investors, they've actually identified a key moment where the entire dynamic of your wealth building just completely changes. For a lot of people, that number is right around the $500,000 mark. Now, this isn't just some random figure they pulled out of a hat. It actually represents a point of critical mass, where the whole physics of your financial growth just fundamentally shifts into a new gear. So here's why that number is so crucial. At this stage, your money's own growth becomes more powerful than your ability to save. Think about it. A 6% return on a $500,000 portfolio is $30,000 in a single year. For many of us, saving an extra 30 grand from our paychecks is a massive stretch, maybe even impossible. Your army of dollars is now recruiting more new soldiers than you can possibly enlist on your own. This is that aha moment that so many investors talk about. It's the realization that your portfolio has graduated. It's no longer just a passive savings account. It's now an active engine of wealth creation. It's officially doing the heavy lifting for you. And this just brilliantly illustrates what that feels like in the real world. A Reddit user captured it perfectly. When your portfolio gets big enough, a tiny little market fluctuation, just 1%, can increase your net worth by a tangible, significant amount. Like the price of a car, in one day. Suddenly, all those abstract percentages feel very, very real. Okay, but just as your financial snowball is turning into that incredible avalanche, a really common obstacle can pop up, and it threatens to stop all that momentum dead in its tracks. It's called lifestyle creep. You might have also heard it called lifestyle inflation. It's that really natural, almost invisible tendency to spend more as you earn more. You get a raise, so you get a nicer car. A bonus hits your account, so you start eating at fancier restaurants. It seems totally harmless, right? But it quietly sabotages your long-term goals because it eats up the very money that should be fueling your growth engine. But here's the good news. This is 100% within your control. And the strategies are actually pretty straightforward. You've got to define goals that are way more exciting than just some fleeting purchase. You pay yourself first by automating transfers to your savings and investments the very day you get paid. And you have to be intentional with a budget, so you're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it all went. So what's the reward for building this financial avalanche and, protecting it from lifestyle creep? It's not just about having a bigger number in your bank account. It's about buying yourself something far more valuable: freedom and options. By starting early and just staying consistent, you are literally buying freedom for your future self. The freedom to change careers if you want, the freedom to handle emergencies without stress, and ultimately the freedom to live the life you actually designed for yourself, not the one you were just forced to settle for.
I know all of this might seem a little intimidating, especially if you're just starting out, and that $500,000 number sounds like it's on another planet. But the journey doesn't begin with saving thousands of dollars. The first steps are so much simpler than that.
The main thing you should take away from this is that the whole process is about consistency, not about perfection. You don't need a huge income to start saving. You just need to start. Get a handle on your money, see where it's going, and then automate a small, manageable amount. Then, as your income grows over the years, just commit to saving a piece of every raise. Let time do the hard work for you. Because in the end, the whole journey to having your money work harder than you do, it doesn't begin with some giant leap. It starts with a single, intentional step. The most important thing you can do is simply begin.